Welcome to ANZCRL Combined Racing League's final special event of 2021, and we are here for the Imola 4 Hours. This year, in the fourth run-in of the Imola 4 Hours, we got away from the LMP high-powered cars and we're back to the GT4s and the touring car class. So we've got just under 9 minutes remaining of qualifying. Dado Racer yet to put a lap down, indicative of his time. He was fastest man in practice just a little while ago in this Aston Martin Vantage GT4 car. Currently looks like we've got Dark Racing 40 in the touring car on pole position with a 152.860. These touring car class and the GT4s are going to be very close indeed. GT4s probably got just a little bit of an upper hand, but not by very much at all. So we've got a 2-hour race coming up very shortly, simulated for the ×2 time progression for a 4-hour simulated time. Race time in game starts at 2 p.m. and finishing time obviously then of 6 p.m. in game time. I'm your host Woody Lizard, and very excited to bring this one live. This is the final special event, as I said, for 2021. And we'll go through some of the stats that we've had throughout the years as well with some of these drivers. As Dado's up 0.6 of a second on his previous time. Currently Talon 04, the fastest man. He's in the pit lane at the moment in the GT4s. So Dado did a 52.936 in the practice session just gone, and Dark Racing 40 has managed to do a 52.860. It's the fastest time we've seen all weekend so far. So the touring car of Dark Racing 40, the little Renault Megane, is absolutely smashing it at the moment. The number 61 Hobsner Motorsport, and he goes faster again into the 52.701. One thing about these little touring cars though is the track temperature is around about that 48 degrees, and it looks like she's going to be very hard on the front wheel drive of these little touring cars, and the tyres may not be as kind as the GT4s throughout this 2-hour event. So he's got the early pace, but will he be able to maintain that throughout race running? And just to remember too, the GT4s, as they are the more recognised as probably the faster class overall, will be actually starting, because it's a mixed class, will be starting in front of the touring cars. So even if Darky does put it on pole here, he will be finding himself way back in the grid in 8th position, as we've only got the 3 touring cars of Dark Racing 40. So we've got 3 touring cars, and then we've got Gear 3 Gaming in the old BMW, in the other second of the Hobsner team, but in the BMW, the 320. So we'll see what he can do. We've got Tim and Jack just behind here in the second of the Renault Meganes as well, in the community racing livery that he's been known to be in. I think he ran that in the British Touring Car Championship. So with 5 minutes remaining, it's going to start heating up definitely for these lap times. Guys will probably go back in, especially the little touring cars. They'll go in and get fresh tyres and be back out again. And we see the return of Metal Drive 05, and he loves an Aston Martin, and he's in this number 101 Zavima Racing Team Aston Martin. Now, he came 6th last year in this year's event when we had the LMP 900s with the GT1s. And he came 6th in that number 4 Audi Team Orica. I believe that was a open wheel car. So he did well in that one. And also he's Came second in this year's British Touring Car Championship in the Open Division. And he won there at a few tracks. He ran at Brands Hatch Indy and Alton Park, the island layout, and also Knock Hill. He was pretty fast around there too. So thought that he may have been taking one of the touring cars, as he was fairly strong in the British Touring Car Championship, coming second in that championship. But into the GT4s, see what he can do. Actually a nice looking car as well. Welcome XD Cookie to the broadcast, mate. Hope you enjoyed. Unfortunately, I know that you'd probably be more, well, you've got a good thing being at a racetrack in real life as well, but originally you were going to run, I believe, in the BMW 322 in the touring car class to mix it amongst the little touring cars, so maybe next year. As Dark is in the pits now, and just to wait to see what he's going to do, if he's going to come out and do attack for one more time or not. And big shout out also to this man here that I'm going to come out, his Highlander 1777. Comes at late notice just to try and make this grid a little bit more respectful at 10. Hardly done any laps whatsoever, but he's back into his famous GT4 car he did in the Team's Endurance Challenge, and see what he can do in this Ginetta, as he's just probably been an out lap there, so we'll see what he can manage on this lap, and he'll get time to do another one as well if he may wish. So yeah, the number 114 Optimal Motor Racing Ginetta, and he came fourth in class in that Endurance Teams Championship earlier in the year. So he's got some miles behind this car, so hopefully he can get back to grips. But Highland have been very successful throughout our years, and the big one starting off the year this year, he came first in the Daytona 24-hour in the Ligier JSP2 Nissan. Always very strong, Highlander. And who could have remember also back in Bathurst earlier, only a few, probably a month ago really, I think it was, yeah, about a month ago, our Bathurst 1000 race, where he was challenging Dado Racer there, second position, or he might have had second position, and Simo was in behind the wheel. They were really looking fairly hot, and had a massive disconnect moment into the warped near Reed Park, and instant engine terminal damage. It wasn't actually a disconnect, it was a lag spike or something that cost Simo and Highlander a chance of victory in this year's Bathurst 1000. But he's up here at the moment, so we should see him. I'll probably just stay hold of 7th at the moment, but obviously better that time. He hasn't got enough improvement to leapfrog Dado in 6th position. About to come over the timing strip now, and there he goes, almost a second faster, so he's getting there. He's got that pace now in that 43.791, so that's not too bad after he only was doing the high 55. He did a 155.785 in practice. As I said, he only had 20 minutes practice before this, and look at the time he's already gained out of that. He's 2 seconds faster than what he was just doing 10 minutes ago, so he's definitely going to improve throughout this 2-hour event, and he could be a very strong challenge later in the race for a podium, if not win this, so we'll keep an eye. As it looks like Dark Racing 40 is not going to be coming back out again. He's in the pit lane with a 52.701, which has got him on pole. And but unfortunately, all that hard work on pole is probably going to see him, as I said, back in 8th position on the starting grid. So that's a shame for him, as a Logical Sports, the only man that can probably topple Dark. He has only 0.14 seconds. We'll see in this final sector if he's up or not. But Dark Lord in 3rd too. What a great result in the Ginetta so far at the moment too for him. We'll just see what comes up here on our screens to see for Logical. Yes, he is up, so this is going to be close. we may just see a logical nip Dark Racing 40 for pole position in this Porsche. Again, this is also the winning Porsche of the P51 SimSport crew of the Team Endurance Championship. And will he do it? Yes, he does. He puts it on pole. Beautiful time from Logical Sports. Dado's still going around too. I'm not too sure what time he's getting. Dado didn't improve. He's still in 5th position. So there we go. We'll quickly go through the order before we go through. So Logical Sports has got pole position with a 152.660. Dark Racing with a 152.701. Dark Lord with a 153.139 in 3rd. And Talon, great result from him too, with a 153.176 for 4th position. And then, as we said, Dado Racer in 5th position with that 153.2. I'm just writing these down too, sorry guys, as we go, 236. So that's in 5th position. And then Nürburger, not too far away, with a 53.320 in 6th position. And as we said, Highlander, the man that's come in at late notice with a 153.791 for 7th position on the grid. And then Metal Drive, picking up the pieces there with a 155.083, and he'll be last on the grid for the GT Force, but up into 7th on the grid. And then we have Gear 3 Gaming. I'm just going back through here, sorry guys. Well, I get my pages so I can write them all down, so I've got a record of it. 155.218 in 9th and 2nd on the grid for the touring cars. And Tim and Jack, 156 slower than what he was doing in practice actually, so he wasn't quite happy there, Tim and Jack. So we'll see if he can improve from there on. So here we go, we'll continue on, and there was one grid penalty spot I did see. But you can see all the GT4s are up 1 to 7. And then Darky, who was actually ended up being 2nd fastest on the in the qualifying, he finds himself all the way down in 8th, but 1st in the touring car class. Now, it's touch and go if these cars can make the whole distance on fuel. Most of them will need a pit for fuel. But a couple of the touring cars, I'm not too sure about that BMW, but there might be a chance of one of them, if they're a bit fuel conservative, may just find themselves being able to make this 2 hours without stopping, but it'll be touch and go. So, but the fastest way will obviously to visit pit lane for a splash and dash and go all out as fast as you can throughout this event. So we've got hazy skies to start off with track temperatures around that 48 degrees. And we'll have a Logical Sports in that Porsche on pole. And then alongside him will be Dark Lord 78 in the Janetta. So we're going to look forward to seeing how he can take off here in that number 60 Team CRCP Janetta. And then Dado Racer gets up to 3rd because I think it might have been Talon who had the 1 spot grid penalty, who's teammates to Dark Lord. And so there's a couple of Janettas there, so we'll keep an eye. And here we go, last light, and it is go. And how does the Logic go in the Porsche? Porsche's taken off very nicely in the lead in the start. And you can see all the fuel filtering on through here now. And it looks like it's a clean start at the moment, as we got Nürburger coming on through on the outside. There's one of the Aston Martins of Dado just running a bit wide through the first chicane there through the Tamburello chicane. Now they come into the Villeneuve, turns 5 and 6 before they come up to the Tosa. As I think that was Talon running wide, and we've got obviously all the touring cars now trying to see how they go. They were all on wheel spin as Gear 3 Gaming has made the most with the rear wheel drive of the BMW, get off that line and leading that class. And camping up behind Talon, but Dark Racing's having a little look around the outside. It's very hard through the Piratello to do that. As Gear is very trying to hold off the challenge from Dark Racing 40 around the outside. But Minerali, game move through there, trying to come up here now, up into the turns 14, 15 chicanes. Garanti chicane, look at them all filtering through. It's been a good start by all the guys. And Darky's been able to make that move stick around the outside of Gear 3 Gaming. So Buck up front will pick up a Logical Sports as he's trying to hold off Dark Lord. Dark Lord's had a great start here right at this moment in that number 60 team CRCP Janetta G55, with Highlander just trying to keep the bay of Nürburgring nice and early, and Dado in that Aston Martin. Metal Drive's made up a few positions too. He started in 7th, he's up, actually up one position up into 6th with Talon, who's had a little bit of an issue. As they all filter in on through. Oh, it's getting very tasty at the back here between Metal Drive and Talon, with Darky now getting onto the latch of the back of the final of the GT4 class of Talon. Metal Drive's just seems to, he's got his car positioned well, but just holding up Talon a little bit. As Talon's having a look down the inside. And all the while we've got, and just in the background there we got Tim and Jack has just come undone at the Tosa hairpin. Dado's putting that extra pressure still on Nürburgring. It's got a little run out of the Minerali complex and up into the chicane, and he's made this stick by the looks of things. Nice respectful driving by the two, but look now, Nürburgring's got to be careful because he's got Highlander right behind him, trying to duck his nose down the inside if he can through the Rivazza. Double left-hand corners down the bottom of the hill here. And as you can see, a Logical still out in front in that P51 Sim Sports Porsche. Championship winning car in class in the Team Endurance Challenge Championship earlier in the year, which was our 3rd series for 2021. As it looks like Highlander is having a good look at Talon, and he's made that move. He was trying to look at Nürburgring, sorry. Oh, there's a big moment there for Talon. Right in front. Oh, and he hasn't been able to keep it off the wall. So he should be able to flick it around here and get there, chasing the back of Tim and Jack. Bit of a moment. You don't think he would have too much damage. There only seemed to be a light tap on that wall. There's Dark Lord still doing a good job out in 2nd, his teammate. Dark Lord's been a driver that's just had a little bit of unluck through some of the series and races throughout 2021. But he did come 3rd in the LMP3 class in the Endurance Team Series with the P51 Sim Sports. He was in the Janetta of the LMP3 car, so he's stuck with the brand of the Janetta in the GT4 class for this Imola 4-hour. So So that was probably his best achievement throughout the season so far. And he was fifth, finished fifth in the Le Mans 24 hours in the GTE class. He was actually in the Porsche in that class. Oh, he's run and ride around here at the Rivazza. Not hard to do either, but they were running as high as second after the first start at Le Mans, him and his teammate, but dropped a few positions during that race, so that was unfortunate, but doing a great job here in second position. But he's coming under a lot of pressure from the man behind, Dado Racer. And Dado, his records has been outstanding throughout 2021 as well, with plenty of accolades. Basically, the history of this race, though, he came third back in 2019 in the LMP1 car. He was driving RWDP 30, came third, and then last year came second in the LMP 900, and that was a very wet weight race here at Imola last year, but he came second in the team Yost Audi Sport, Audi R8. So this year, can he go one better and take the victory? So he's had a third, second, and third time lucky, maybe a victory. So we'll wait and see. We're only an hour 50, or not even 10 minutes into the race. So we've got an hour 52 minutes remaining. A lot of these guys are settling down. His talent's already into the pits after that little error. So obviously he had a little bit of damage, so he's had to get into the pits there on lap 4, just for some damage repair. There's Dado's now squealing around the back there of Dark Lord, Talon's teammate, and he's got a good run around the outside. He's in front at the moment, but will he be able to pull this Aston Martin up? It looks like he has. He's cleared him. So he's been able to get through the Tamburello here nicely. With Dark Lord just deciding to take it easy and tuck in and follow. But so Dado, he came second in the Le Mans GTE class in the Aston Martin. So I'm not too sure I don't think it was this actually Aston Martin that he was in, but did a good job coming second in class there. And then the Sakito 10 hour that we had in the old Group A cars, he was in the Nissan Skyline GTR, and he absolutely dominated that, and he took victory there. So big win from Dado there. And then Bathurst 1000 alongside Logical Sports, the man that's actually leading this race at the moment, as Gear 3 Gaming is trying to keep Highlander at bay. Don't know if Highlander's made a mistake or if Gear's just been able to power on through, but it looks like Highlander made a mistake with the 203 that previous lap, so Gear's been able to benefit from that. And so getting back to Dado Racer as well with the second position at Bathurst 1000 alongside Illogical, who's out in front in the Porsche with Dado chasing that Illogical down. And coming second in the British Touring Car Championship this year as well, Dado in a Renault Megane. So he's been up in the top a lot of the results throughout the year, and came second in the Team Endurance Championship in a Ginetta LMP3 car. And then in the V8 Supercars, he came third in the championship behind Sato and Illogical Sports. And he won the GT3 Sprint Cup in his Lamborghini Hurricane. So, and currently leading the Formula C Championship. So, yeah, he's definitely been on a roll in 2021. As Darky's now moving his way forward, still in the 153's point. He was the fastest man on that previous lap too. So those tyres are still hanging in for Darky here on lap 6. All over the back of Dark Lord. running a little bit wide, coming in a little bit hot there on turn 7 at the Tosa hairpin as they come up the hill now. And just this little kink here, turn 8 of the 19 corners here at Imola. The Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari circuit, 4.959 kilometres long in length, and as I said, 19 corners. Probably one of the most exciting part of the tracks is just down here, the bottom of the hill here. You can really get that car hooked into those 2 right-hand corners through the Acque Minerali. As you can see, the GT4 cars can sort of bounce over the chicane curbs here to Verante, but the touring cars, they're little light nimble things. They got to avoid them by quite a bit. They not going to unsettle these front wheel cars. You just see how Darky's been able to get up onto these curbs as much as he can and get that front wheel drive, really powering the car out of these corners and trying to settle into the draft of behind Dark Lord's Ginetta. We can just have a look at that speedo at the moment too, rushing up to about 240 before he's got to hit the brakes. He's hitting them hard, but he's having a nice little look down the inside, but Dark Lord's made sure he's closed the door on him as Nürburger's running it a bit ragged around the Tamburello chicane, trying to keep in touch with these 2 cars in front. So nice little juicy little battle going on right here for positions 3, 4 and 5. Dado's just enjoying having a little bit of breath of fresh air at the moment, having a little relax in the Aston Martin. Still a good little battle going on here between Highlander and Gear 3 Gaming. Now Gear 3 Gaming in this BMW as well, he's another driver that's been a little bit light on through with ANZCRL Combined Racing League through 2021. But that light on, he's still done some very good results as well. He's coming second at the Daytona 24 Hours in the GTE class, in the Porsche as well. He was in the Porsche 911 RSR. And he was teaming up with Dark Racing 40, and who could have not forget that one as well. I think Darky, the final lap, was conserving fuel, running out of fuel, and Jetto and in the Corvette coming through and taking victory there late on the final lap of the Daytona 24 Hour. That kicks off our season every year here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League. But last year it was in this event, Gear 3 Gaming. He was in the Audi R8 as well, the LMP 900 class, and he came 5th. So he's got some run-ins on the board here, and he's going to see if he can obviously claim outright, or not outright victory. It's going to be hard, but we don't know. We'll wait and see, because this car may be able to do this whole race without pitting for fuel. So we'll soon see, and but he's 20 seconds off the lead of Illogical Sport, so it's going to be a tough ask. But obviously, his man that he's trying to see at the moment is Dark Racing 40. He's up now into 2nd position. So there's been a problem there with Dado, who's made a mistake. So he's dropped down to 5th now. We've missed that. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Dark Lord now. I mean, if Darky can start getting a bit closer to Illogical Sports in that leading Porsche at the moment, and we haven't seen much of Illogical because he's out front, nice and clean air, and doing a really good job in this Porsche at the moment. So we've got the 2 Aston Martins now starting to get close together again with Metal Drive, just consistently doing his own thing. Limited mistakes, and as you can see now, Dado's, after he's had a little mistake, it's pushed Metal fairly within striking distance if Metal can get things going. for the number 101. That Zavima Racing Team, Aston Martin. And I believe also we have got Commander Cirrus as well in the chat. Welcome, Commander Cirrus. And if my memory is correct, I believe he won in class here last year in the wet as well. So wanting to defend his victory this weekend, but unable to attend Imola. So sitting on the sidelines watching a little bit of the coverage and seeing how his opposition is faring, and probably in one way wishing he could be there, but the other way enjoying life as it is where he is today. So Nürburger in third position, and both him and Dark Lord are doing a good job just following one another. Not really challenging too much for position, just to see if they can just keep motoring on through and don't lose touch of the leaders. Highlanders still having a hard time trying to get past Gear 3 Gaming. And Tim and Jack in the third of the touring car class. So we had a couple of touring car drivers. We had 5 entries originally and 2 late withdrawals. One was from Sado 15, who was being called up into his grade cricket team. So rolling the arm over today instead of steering one. And he would have been pretty strong here, I believe, in the BMW. And so that's a shame. And then there was going to be another BMW, as we said earlier, of XD Cookie as well, who's breathing real life fumes on a racetrack today. So hopefully he's enjoying that out there as well. Oh, so Tim and Jack, not too sure what was going on there, but smacked on the brakes and thinking about doing something. But Gear 3 Gaming, ooh, just running wide through the Tamburello, and that might give Highlander enough opportunity maybe to try and set himself up if he can get a good run through here. He's having a look, but he's going to be caught on the outside, but he can keep it around, and he has. What a great move by Highlander. Nice commitment from Highlander, and that's once you're committed, you've got to stay committed, otherwise you do start thinking second guessing and can have an accident. But he's back now into 7th position after he made a little mistake, and which gave Gear 3 Gaming that position. So that's very good. And so he's off. Hello, Lloydie. Welcome. And so we'll just see how that Highlander can now, if he can sort of gap gear, because he was getting held up a little bit. And he's got a deficit of around about 5.5 seconds to Metal drive in front of him. So, and as I said, Metal's just constantly in these 56s, so he's doing a really good job. So we'll just see, and all the time penalties, they're going to be, we're asking about the time penalties as we're going to hit lap 11. And so we've had 10 laps down, 20 minutes into this race. And let's bring up these timings as logical. Just getting that Porsche through the first chicane area, and it looks like a lot of 2 seconds, 4 seconds from Dark Lord, 3 seconds from Metal Drive as well. So that's didn't see where that might have happened, but a lot of it happens around turn 9 outside of the Piratella corner up the top. So as they come through here, the Toaster, and they make their run up here, they find they sort of get a bit of a penalty if they run a little bit wide on exit, as we've got Dark Racing 40 now challenging for the lead. So this is the part here, if they run a bit too wide here and get that out onto the green, then a lot of the time there's a slow down penalty. And then obviously the Rivarza, the probably turn 17 is the most common one. where you just run out on the first left-hander as you come down the hill, where they pick up some penalties. But this is a good battle for the lead at the moment between Illogical and Dark Racing 40. So we'll stick with this for a little bit. As Illogical, you can see bouncing around the chicanes. The GT4 is a bit heavier, they can afford to do that. But you can see Darky just avoiding it for dear life. So this is the part where we're talking about where the drivers get a bit of a penalty. Come out here, brake a little bit too hard, miss the turn in, and then run wide a little bit out through here as they're still trying to get that power on. Because it's very important to set yourself up out of this final corner here, turn 18, for the big run down the Varianti-Bassa straight and past the start-finish line, and then down up into the Tamburello corner. So Logical with a 56, so Darky picked up a little bit of time. That's why he gained. And this is the part, this first sector and sector 2 is where the touring cars are probably their strongest. They can get the power out, especially this sector 1 coming out through the Tamburello and the Villeneuve S's here, chicanes. So Talon, after he had that little mistake, he's back in the 56s as well. So he's got a long race there behind, and he's going to just hopefully keep maintaining a good time as Darky's trying to have a little look now. Try and position his car to sneakily put his nose down the inside. So this is GT4 versus the touring car. So we didn't know how the touring car would fare after around about half an hour with its tyres, if they'd start wearing too much, but especially the front tyres, being the front wheel drive. It's very aggressive you need to do to keep that time going, and Darky's just got this Renault on song at the moment. So really, Darky needs to have already made the move through here. You could probably try and get a move done here, but you'd think that Logical Sports may be able to... oh, it's Darky just saying that he's got himself down the inside. He's taken the lead. But what we're going to see if that Porsche's got the legs down the straight to repass him. This is what I thought may be able to happen. But Darky, on lap 12, has taken the lead of the race. After being the fastest, he put it on pole. But obviously due to class restrictions, he had to start all the way down into 8th. So it's taken him 24 minutes to do that, as Talon looks like he's about to be disconnected. If that is Talon, I'm not too sure if that was Talon or... Yes, it was. So Talon, unfortunately, has been disconnected there on lap 12. That's unfortunate for the CRCP Janetta team, but they have still got Dark Lord 78 in the battle, and real and truly in the battle too. Only 7 seconds off the lead and challenging Nürburger. And like I said earlier, I don't think he's really challenging too hard. I think he's just happy just to stay there and follow and just work together and let the time run out, let it all come. So... oh, some might say bump and run through the commentary there with Commander Sirius. It was a little bit of a nudge there coming into turn 17 at Rivazza. You're probably right. But, you know, it's he's got his car there. It wasn't too bad. Definitely wasn't a malicious sort of move or anything like that. So just a little bit of a Darky cheat that we know that he can do every now and then. But if Logical's got it in him, he should be able to come back at him. But we'll wait and see. Oh, Gear 3 came in big moment, and he's held onto it. Just dropping the left side onto the grass. Just trying to chase down Highlander. But we've got Tim and Jack not too far behind him too, as he's coming up there through Minerali as well. So... I think it's time that we may just go on board Dark Lord, sit on the roof and do a lap. So enjoy, guys. There we go with a lap around on board Dark Lord 78 in his number 60 team CRCP Genetta G55 GT4, currently in 4th position. And as you can see, just in front of Dado Racer as well in that Aston Martin. Metal Drive's just fallen off as well. The back of Dado. Dado's been able to get down in those 54s and slowly re-catch back up to these guys, as he was running second at one stage and obviously made a mistake. Fell down to 5th. But he's doing a good job, Dado, as he's just sort of gathered up the car there, just got a little bit unsettled through the Villeneuve chicane, but he's in that Obstinate Automotive car as well. And let's just quickly go through the field here, seeing we're almost half an hour in. So we have Dark Racing 40. As I said, he qualified, had the fastest time in qualifying, but started in P8 due to the grid allocation of GT4s and the touring cars. So, and he's found himself back on the lead after lap 12, 13, I think it was. He got there. So then we've got Illogical Sports in the Porsches, had put it on pole, and actually I think Logical Sports did end up putting it on pole over Dado. I mean Dark Racing 40, sorry. So yeah, he did actually have it on pole. So he's started the race and kept it in the lead all race most of the time until Dark Racing did get him. And Nürburger 79, who is now in 3rd position, he started in 6th position, and so he's made up 3 positions, and going along fairly strong too, with constant times in the 55, sometimes dipping down into the 54s too, I'd imagine as well. Just starting to get a gap over on Dark Lord. Oh, and on the NX Oil car, he's getting it all crossed up. And getting tank slappers left, right and centre as he comes into the Tosa hairpin, and that's given Dark Lord now a little bit of a moment to get a bit closer, and he qualified 3rd and currently in 4th position. So doing a good job in that as well, and he's improved a lot of times through his practice as well. Another driver that gained 2 seconds from his practice times to his qualifying. So Dado Racer, I believe he started in 3rd. He did qualify, I think, or maybe in 4th. He was benefit from a grid position. Yeah, he qualified in 5th, but he started in 4th because I think it was Talon got a grid penalty. So he's still in 5th position. So he's dropped a position if you say he started in 4th. And Metal Drive, he started in 7th and up into 6th in the Aston Martin. And Highlander, now he's getting those consistent 55s as well, and he started in 9th and he's up a couple of positions. So he's doing not too... Oh, hang on, I'm not looking at the right one. That was Gear 3 Gaming, sorry, in 9th. I got that all muddled up. He's qualified in 7th, sorry, Highlander. So in the same position as he's bouncing around trying to hit the braking mark, coming down into Rivazza. Gear 3 Gaming in the in 8th position, and he was 2nd in the touring car class in qualifying, and was basically 9th on the grid, so he's up 1 position, and still holding position in 2nd in class. And likewise we got Tim and Jack, who qualified, he was actually last, 10th, and 3rd in class, so he's now currently in that same position, but only 5 seconds off from Gear 3 Gaming too. So looking like the race is slowly coming to him as well for Tim and Jack, for the minor positions in class as well. So obviously only 3 cars in the touring car class, so they're all guaranteed a podium. But obviously finishing higher than that in second would be a great achievement for Tim and Jack. And maybe any other pieces as well that might come their way, because he's still within striking distance of drivers like Highlander, Metal Drive, throughout the race too, depending on fuel efficiency and any more incidents. So we've only gone through 32 minutes of this race. We've still got an hour 27 remaining, so there's a lot of racing still in front of us. And track temperatures are fairly high too, so that's the problem that these touring cars are fighting as well, is the tyres just starting to wear out, especially the front wheel drives, as they get a lot of heat generated from them trying to power out of these corners. So it won't be long, I wouldn't imagine either, maybe the next 3 or 4 laps we might see Metal Drive under attack from Highlander. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Darky's still in the 53.445 was his previous lap. It's just unbelievable the time that he's been able to just keep managing in this touring car out front. So we've got 3 Hobsner automotive cars. I think we've got the Hobsner automotive car of Dark Racing 40. And then I believe the next Hobsner automotive car is of Dado Racer in the Aston Martin, number 68. So there's the next Hobsner automotive car. And the third, I believe, is this man here, Gear 3 Gaming, in the BMW, in the old 320. Is the Hobsner Automotive as well. So 3 of the cars on the grid, all through the same sponsor. So yeah, Metal's given away roughly a second roughly or so every lap to Highlander. So Highlander's what's he, about 4 seconds. So maybe within 4 laps we may see Highlander on the back of Metal Drive. So famous Grand Prix track here at Imola as well, in Italy. And we've also got here the track record around here in our group is from a LMP1 car, obviously, and that was back in 2019 by Shads in a Marek RP339H with a 125.639, so a lot faster than these guys are doing at the moment, but basically another 30 seconds quicker. So you can tell when you've got aero and high-powered cars, this track can really come alive with some very quick lap times as well. So one thing from last year though, that we've got a dry track compared to last year. It was a wet race and it was a struggle for quite a few teams. And it was a good entertain. It was an entertaining race, let's say that at least. So the Nürburgring, let's go through and have a look at some of his stats that he's done through 2021 with us as well. He came 5th in the Daytona 24 hours in the Ligier in the JSP2 Nissan. In the famous 11K Max car, it seems to feature every time at the Daytona 24. And then he was a brave man, did the Le Mans 24 hours solo, so that was 6 hours worth of racing, simulating 24 hours throughout 4 sessions. And he came 4th in class, driving the Ford GTLM. And then he finished on the podium at the 2.4 hours of Spa in the Audi Sport Team WRT GT3 car. So he did a really good run there at the 24 hours of Spa, 2.4 hours. And then he dropped in a big Merc, the old Mercedes-Benz 190E in the Group A cars for finished 6th at the Sakito 10 hour. And then alongside me at the Bathurst 1000, we finished 4th just off the podium at the Bathurst 1000. He's just running a little bit wide on exit of turn 7. And then the first series was the Ginetta GT5 Cup, so not this GT4 car, it was the old, I think it's a G50 or something, but old G40. He came 3rd in that, so I had a good run throughout that opening series of 2021 here at ANZCRL Combined Racing League. And then he was alongside Talon, the man that's actually been disconnected, and he finished 2nd in the GT4 class in a Ginetta in the endurance series. So he's been there and thereabouts in this. He likes the Ginetta and doing a good job. And unfortunately, Talon hasn't been able to see his true results here this afternoon, after being disconnected, as we heard earlier on. So that's a shame. So he's had a mixed sort of bag. He's still waiting for the big one, big victory Nürburgring, or a good result. Well, you could say 2nd in class in the endurance series is probably a good one to take home in 2021. Not an easy task to do, to finish in the top 3 of a series, that's for sure. Darky's just still keeping up there in front. We've got Tim and Jack, and is that... I thought I saw a car coming on through, which might have been... I thought it could have been Darky, but yeah, he'd be another 50 seconds down the road, up the road there. But Tim and Jack, again, another driver that's... he's very consistent and had some good results. His best result of 2021 was definitely a 2nd place finish in the P51 Sim Sports Cadillac in the GT3 Open division of the GT3 Sprint Cup at Alton Park. So he did a really good, had a good result there, and was actually filling in as a reserve driver for that in the Cadillac. But other than that, he came 2nd in Le Mans alongside Dado in the Aston Martin. They were looking pretty strong for victory there, in class victory in the GTE class, but just didn't quite get there in the end. So yeah, he's and other than that, mainly mid-pack most of the time for Tim and Jack. But that's one thing that we've always said. He's always consistent, Tim and Jack. You don't see him making too many major mistakes. He drives within his own ability and limit, and that can get him good results in these longer events as well. So we'll see how that goes. And as we can see, he's been slowly gaining on the back of Gear 3 Gaming as well. So he's doing a good job. He's knuckling down, and that's the thing that'll keep him going, seeing that he's slowly edging closer and closer to the back of that BMW in 8th position. And that'll be 2nd in class as well. So yeah, that'll keep Tim and Jack going for another 20 minutes or so, that's for sure. And Metal Drive still been able to manage to keep that Highlander behind about 4 seconds. So keeping to his times of around that 55, which most of the cars are in the 55s at the moment. So tyres just starting to lose their edge at the moment, I would imagine. We're not getting the crazy 54s by a lot of the cars, and obviously the 53s that we were seeing from Darky and Illogical earlier on. We might just bring up the timing so we can have a look at the fastest lap there at the moment is held by Dark Racing 40 with a 53.304. And that was when he was really catching the back of Illogical Sports as well, I think. And so yeah, so in Illogical, the only other car in the 53.943 in the Porsche. So yeah, as you can see, most of the guys in the 54s are very competitive. As you can see, Tim and Jack's done a 55.3 with Gear 3 Gaming's best of only a 56.2, so he's struggling a little bit in that BMW. Gear 3 Gaming. But you can see the fuel starting to burn down too in this Renault Megane as well. So we could imagine that Darky's going to be one of the guys that's going to need to pit for sure for fuel. 39 litres, just under 40 litres for a Logical Sports. The Janettas are good on the fuel. 53.4 litres. So going to not too bad. The Aston Martin has used up quite a bit of fuel, so maybe Dado obviously might be the first one in for fuel, as Metal Drive is in the same boat, and Highland is benefiting from that better fuel economy from the Janetta. And Gear 3 Gaming in this BMW with the 54 litres still, so as we said, the BMW is pretty good on fuel. And there's a slight chance that he's only going to need a little splash and dash at the end. And Tim and Jack is on 54. So Darky's obviously... oh no, he's on the 53. I thought for a minute that he was on low fuel. It was one of the other guys. Oh, the Aston Martin, sorry. So we're coming up to the 2-hour mark in game time. So about 2.5, probably hour and a half we've been in in game time of the 4-hour event. Obviously only 2 hours the guys have to actually go through with the ×2 time progression. Someone picked up obviously more eyes on things, it's good, but Gear 3 Gaming, yes, the engine temperature is a little bit hot in that BMW. So hopefully that's not going to add to a little bit of engine damage, cause any issues. But there's been a move there too, without me even noticing, that Tim and Jackie's now found himself up into 8th position, second in class. Obviously Gears had a little bit of a moment. I still think, I think Darky won't need as much fuel because they don't use, I don't think the fuel tank takes as much as what the Porsche will. Nürburgring's had a moment in the background there. So he's had a spin, and that's now got Dark Lord up into 3rd position. Car looks fairly straight though. And we did see earlier there him having a little bit of a tank car slapper coming out of the Villeneuve chicane there, so maybe that's caught him again. So that's now got... Dado's made a mistake down at the Minerali. And Nürburgring will be going, thank you very much, Dado. And we'll see you later. So maybe Dado was cycling through the radio stations in that Aston Martin and trying to find something else to get him back into the zone again. Finding the Italian classic channel not to his liking. So here we go again. So that's Nürburgring. Something's going on with his, I think we're going to see a disconnect from Nürburgring on lap 25, unfortunately. So big lag spike from Nürburgring. And there's proof there, so unfortunately, big moment from Nürburgring. On lap 24. 25 was the disconnect from Martin Nurberger, unfortunately. So we're down to 8 runners. And what can a logical do? But what I was going to get to is Dark Racing 40. Obviously, he's had to probably... His times were going back up to the 55s. I don't reckon it was from him pushing too hard. I reckon it was because he was maybe just letting these tyres cool down the front a little bit. And now you can see he's back into the 53 again and pushing hard with that extra grip that the tyres have come back. So Metal Drive now in 5th position after Nurberger's disconnect. And it's brought Highlander. I said Highlander was slowly catching him, might be 4 or 5 laps, so he's getting there at the moment, Highlander on Metal Drive. So we've got 8 cars still on the lead lap. Now Highlander, as he's challenging for position here in P6, going for position 5. As I said, he reigning champion of the Daytona 24-hour, and that's Nissan. And he also was second. I don't know, he won, sorry, the British Touring Car Championship in the Open division. In the number 2 Momo course, Renault Megane. So we thought that he might have been in the Pro division in that British Touring Car Championship, but he was elected in the Open and run on a Saturday night and took victory there for that championship, which was a hard-fought championship as well. So it was well deserved. And then also he came 5th in the V8 Supercars, but he won the race there at Indianapolis Road Course. They are supercars, and he didn't enter in the GT3 Sprint Cup. We thought he might have been there, but he was elected to just be a reserve driver, and he came to round 1 at Bathurst, his favourite track, and as a reserve driver, and I think he won the round actually in the Open division in that, and then he came in for the Pro division as well, and he came second in there at Bathurst. So they're the only races I think he attended in the GT3 Sprint Cup. So yeah, he picks and chooses where he wants to go, Highlander, in the races, and does a good job, and a lot of thanks to him this afternoon I should say, coming in last notice as well to keep the grid numbers up, as we had a couple of late people not make the race at the last minute. So he decided to give it a go with limited practice, and I tell you what, limited practice and doing 55s after about an hour is not a bad job at all. And this is the car that he actually ran also in the Team's Endurance Championship, where he came 4th in class in the GT4 class. And the 114 Optimum motor racing team, the Janetta, as he's now putting a lot of pressure on Metal Drive, and definitely wants to try and see if he can clear him earlier, as he knows that Dado's not too far away either. He's only about 12 seconds or so up the road, and the fuel economy of these Janettas are a lot better than the Aston Martin, so the pit stop cycle may see that Highlander, if he can clear Metal Drive early, may see him being able to be on the back of Dado after the pit cycles are done, due to Highlander not needing as much fuel. But again, with him not having much practice in this for this event, he may put too much fuel in than what he really needs as well. So it might be a saving grace for Dado at the moment. Darky again into the 53.135. That's the fastest lap, the previous lap, as Dado's into the pit. So he's come in. He's decided to come in, seems a bit early, 14 litres. It's not quite halfway yet, so he's going to obviously go on a longer fuel run to the end. So he's going to fill that tank up and know that he can get to the end from here on in. There's a pit crew there at work. So he's got that tank filled up now as Gear 3 Gaming will be coming on through. There he goes. So Dado's now at the rear of the grid, but his fuel is done. And he's motoring out now as Dark Racing 40 now is just coming out of turn 18 of the Rivarza. And with 20 litres of fuel. So they're obviously being a smaller engine car, that fuel drop is slow on these touring cars. But Darky definitely will need to pit somewhere in this race for fuel. And there's Dado just in front. So Darky's seeing that and going, well, here's my first car. I'm coming up to lap now. So that'll get Darky pushing hard. There's Metal Drive trying to defend hard, bouncing over the chicanes at Verante. Not too sure how that chicane's pronounced, but turns 14, 15 may be easier. This is where the battle is at the moment for position 4. And Metal Drive's definitely going to be starting to sweat now with the challenge from Highlander behind him. Aston Martin's got the legs. Should be able to hold him out on these straights, but it's the braking area where the Janetta really comes in. So this is where you might see Highlander trying to stick it down if he can round the Villeneuve chicane. It's very hard, but maybe get a good run out of Villeneuve and into the Tosa hairpin. It looks like the punch out of the corners too from the Aston Martin is fairly impressive as well. It's run a little bit wide. Highlander's trying to get a more narrower or more straight line exit. Try and get a run up the hill, up into Paratella. So it looks like we'd probably expect to see Metal Drive maybe in the next 3 laps for his pit stop. So that will release Highlander if he hasn't cleared him by then. But why he's losing a little bit of time to Dark Lord in front. And obviously we need to know about also that cycle. So we'll keep an eye on the times of what Dado can do in the next couple of laps as well, after he completes his out lap from these pit stop. Dark Racing 40 is just he's just continuing his form in 2021. It's been absolutely brilliant at the moment from Darky, as Highlander gets that wobble, a bit like what Nürburgring was getting, but Nürburgring was getting it out of the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, he's looking at it. Having a look down the inside here. Highlander's got the nose in there. Now it's going to be the big drag up the hill. Who's got the power? The Aston Martin. He's fairly got a lot of grunt, as you can see. May have just saved Metal Drive, but Highlander's still looking down the inside. Oh, close racing by the two. Very nice drive in here, just on the hour mark almost, halfway through this race. For position 4. Third in class. But Metal Drive holding it strong, prevailing, and being able to survive this very good charge from Highlander. Oh, so Metal Drive has decided to come in this lap, so get that pit stop done. So Highlander's still got plenty of fuel, 36 litres. And Darky's already put that lap on Dado. I think Darky should be able to get through before Metal rolls out, as Gear 3 Gaming now into the pit lane. Coming in early as well. Obviously just wants to get that fuel done, knowing that he can get to the end now. As Dado has cleared Metal Drive, so Metal Drive will be probably just starting to move out of pit lane. No, he's still there. Just waiting for maybe a bit of damage repair. All the tyres. As a Porsche of Illogical Sports comes on through. So that's a good help for those guys that don't get caught up with lap traffic. So this man here, Dark Racing 40, what can we say? He is the Imola 4-hour champion of last year, reigning champion. He won it last year in the Team Yost #1 Audi Sport team in the LMP 900. Back in 2019, he came 6th in the Porsche 919 Hybrid LMPH, and then he came 9th overall in the 2018 event, the first event we ran. 5th in class in the LMP3 class, running the United Autosports Ligier JSP3. So currently leading this race as well. So can he go back to back for the Imola 4 hours? And then obviously, as we know, they came 2nd in class in that Porsche, the Daytona 24-hour, teaming up with Dado Racer after last lap getting done by Jetto and crew with the fuel running low. And then the Route 66, he came 3rd in the Route 66 at Daytona 500. And then the Indy 500, he came 2nd by a mere 0.29 seconds from Illogical Sports, who took out the Indy 500 this year. I believe that's probably one of the closest finishes we've had at the Indy 500. And that not to, he came away from that and saying he's got to get back on the front. So he went front foot forward and won Le Mans 24 hours with Sato in the Porsche Team 919 Hybrid in a dominant display in the Le Mans 24 hours this year. And that gave him also the pathway for the Triple Crown that he was been aiming for as well. He'd already won Le Mans, so the only race that had been eluding was the Bathurst 1000. So He actually won that this year with Sato again, so he gained the second inductee of the Triple Crown Award, first being back in 2019 with Shads. Dark Racing 40 grabbed that this year in 2021. It's taken him, got so close I believe last year too, when he was actually teamed up with Highlander for the Bathurst 1000, and fate wasn't there for him, and they got a late disconnect. But this is where all the winning begins too. He won the British Touring Car Champion Pro Division in the Renault Megane, but in the Imola number 55 car, not this car, but the 55 one. And then he won the Team Endurance Championship in the Border Racing Ligier with Sato, teaming up with him, and just narrowly getting beaten for the championship in the GT3 Sprint Cup in his Lamborghini Hurricane, the championship that Dado won. So he's been absolutely on fire, and don't forget he also came second at the 2.4 hours of Spa earlier in the year as well in that Audi R8 LMS car. So the results speak for themselves in that list there. Pretty much there's lots of seconds, lots of thirds, and a few first positions as well, and currently leading this race. And as I said, going for back-to-back Imola 4 hours after winning last year's event in very wet and trying conditions. So obviously lapping up this dry weather at the moment, but getting to a stage where he's going to start thinking pit stop zone and getting a little bit of fuel put into this car, and obviously some tyres as well. So same as the Logical Sports, that Porsche is starting to get low where he's going to need to put that fuel in. He's got a cheeky Gear 3 gaming behind him in the touring car of the BMW. A nice looking car, that BMW, the 320. We'll have a look at Dark Lord at the moment. Still, look, as Tim and Jack comes in for fuel. So he's coming in a little bit. He's already been in Tim and Jack too, so he's had the same fuel as Darky before. So I think Tim and Jack had come in earlier, and he's back in again. So his Highlander is what he's. Looks like when he pits, obviously he's going to lose that position still to Dado, as the Logical is now in from the P2. Pulled the pin. Doesn't need to go all the way. Doesn't want to, obviously. It also upsets the fuel distribution of this car. The fuel at the front with the engine at the back. Sometimes having a bit of fuel in the Porsche at the front helps turning and stability of the car. Highlander now coming on through, so he'll find himself in front of a Logical with a pit stop to come. As you can hear, one of the, I think Tim and Jack leaving pit lane. And he's following the Porsche of the Logical Sports. So out he goes. So he's got enough fuel now to the end. Maybe he got his fuel numbers wrong and had to get another lot of fuel, or as I said, he might have got some damage. Darky's going to do another circuit around. We'll have to wait till it all settles down when we see all the pit stop cycles on through, so we can see where everyone is. But I think Dado's going to obviously jump Highlander, and it's touch and go if he will get in front of Dark Lord. I'm not too sure, so I think Dark Lord will be able to hold, which will end up being P3, as the Logical Sports will come on through. I think Dado will be still in P4 with Highlander behind Dado. So 52 minutes remaining. Metal Drive's looking for a good result tonight. As Darky's now into the pit lane. So he's going to stay there for a while, and we'll see what ends up happening with the Logical Sports. He's obviously had a little bit of a moment, because taking a while to actually get his tyres up to temperature has been the case. As Tim and Jack showing a little bit of cheek there, giving him a little hurry up. As the touring cars, they don't want to lose out on their power coming out of the corner, so he's probably just didn't want to come off, hoping that the Porsche will grip up and get going. Darky's still in there. He's got his fuel ready to go. He's just waiting on tyres. So you can see him bouncing around the outside curbs there, Highlander. That's probably going to be where you'll get a little bit of a time penalty. As Darky's now motoring down pit lane. And there's the Logical. So Logical's gained a bit on Darky there through that cycle, but the thing with the Logical, I think that he may have had a little bit, I don't know if it's just because he couldn't get going, because Tim and Jack is still right on him, and Tim and Jack came out with a Logical Sports out of the pit area. So this is effectively for the lead of the race, with Darky in P3 at the moment, with the Logical Sports just behind him there in the Porsche. And Tim and Jack unfortunately a lap down, but absolutely given a little bit of cheek there behind a Logical Sports. Tell you what, they'll be working hard, feeling it this afternoon. Especially these little touring cars. Absolutely hammering it to get as much out of these cars as possible. Darky's doing a great job. This outlap's been sensational. No mistakes whatsoever. coming out on cold tyres. They could be preheated, I'm not 100% sure, but he's done a great job on this outlap. And kept sure that he hasn't been able to get in the clutches of Illogical Sports behind him. At 47 minutes remaining, is still a long way to most of this 40-50 minutes is roughly a normal nights of series racing duration, so they've got that again to go. As Illogical, as you can see, with the 55 compared to the 58 of Dark Racing 40. That was a sensational outlap by Darky when we were seeing 2 minutes for some of the outlaps for some of the guys too. So you can just see how much he pushed, and that's the gap that he's been able to now extend out to 5 seconds to Illogical Sports. So he's got a 30-second gap to Dado Racer. These are the guys that we're going to be waiting on for pitting Dark Lord, who's currently leading the race. Extending out this time. He's looking very solid for a 3rd position though, Dark Lord, this afternoon. It's going to be close between him and Dado once they come in, but I still think Dark Lord will probably have the upper hand over Dado. They've been lapping similar times. As Gear 3 Gaming comes powering up the hill in that BMW. A bit slower than the Audi R8 LMP 900 that he piloted and steered last year here at Imola, as he's let Dark Lord go on through. Good gamesmanship there. So you know he's not in the battle, and Dark Lord is on for a very, well, probably one of his best results of the season. He's put in a bit of time from Friday night's official practice. The times that he was doing, he was doing a 54.4, I think it was, and then during qualifying he ended up doing a 53.139 for 3rd on the grid, so not too bad at all. So just getting into the zone and his turning points and the flow of the circuit, and maybe tweak the car a little bit at the same time. Unfortunately, he hasn't got his support of his teammate Talon 02, who got disconnected on lap 12 of this race. Currently on lap 40. Darky again into the 53.296 on his first pretty much lap after his outlap, so he's absolutely smashing it. And now he's right on the back of Highlander, who's yet to pit. Both Dark Lord and Highlander is still needing to pit. Everyone else is pitted. He's definitely zoned in though, Dark Racing 40 in 2021. He's not here just to make up numbers, he's here for serious, as we've seen earlier when he made that little overtake on Illogical Sports. And Just gave him leaned on him just a little bit to take the lead. Back on lap 14, I think it was. Lap 13 or 14. But super effort. In the game relates to the touring cars actually being a bit slower than the GT4s, but I tell you what, you can see through these times here, the touring cars and the GT4s have all been matching it, and it's obviously they're very, very close together in performance. Oh, as Highlander's just outbraked himself into the Rivazzo, the first of the left-handers. And then out of turn 18, so he's going to go for another circuit as well, Highlander. He's not going in for his pit stop. So the next man in, you'd imagine, will be this man, Dark Lord, who's currently 36 seconds up the road from Darky. But we've seen the pit transition is over a minute, so it's going to take him a while. But he should filter back in, probably, or will be definitely behind a Logical, and maybe just in front of Dado. So it's going to be interesting to see where Dark Lord actually filters out. So we'll keep an eye once he does pit to see if he can stay in front of Dado. He should be able to, because I think his lap times have been consistently, on average, faster than Dado. Highlander in P3 at the moment. Chasing down Darky, but as we know, Highlander's still got a pit. He's doing his best too to see if he can try and, I guess, get in and out before Dado comes around as well. So he's got a roughly a 50 second gap, I think, roughly on Highlander. So it's going to be close depending on how much fuel he puts on. So as we said, late ANZ sign up, matter of minutes before we open the lobby was Highlander joining. So he may be a little bit underdone with the fuel strategy. That's one thing that may get him, catch him out, but let's hope it doesn't, because he's had an absolutely sensational run here at Imola. So in game time, we're getting close to around about 4:30, I think it would be. Oh, it would be past for 4:30, actually coming towards 5. Once we go to 30 minutes remaining, it'll be actually 5 PM in game time. Finishing at 6 PM in game time. Not much happening throughout the field other than we're just waiting to see what happens when they decided to pit these two leading, oh, not two leading cars, Dark Lord and Highlander, to see where they're going to actually come out. Dark Lord, we do imagine he will be in third, effectively, behind Illogical Sports. And here he comes. He's coming in now. So he's had some very good, long, consistent times in the 55s as well. Darky's still managing to squeeze out 53s in that touring car. He's just out of this world, really. So he's pulled up on the marks. It's Dark Lord. So we've got Highlander. We'll see if he's going to take the opportunity to follow and pit, or is he going to go around once more. And then we've got the time penalties as well. So So Highlander's coming around again. And Illogical Sports is coming through. So Dark Lord is out of the pits lanes, and he's actually in front of Illogical. So what a move from here. So effectively, in second position. So what a great pit strategy from the crew of Dark Lord's team, the team CRCP. High fives going all around. And so before they Illogical pitted, Illogical was second with Dark Lord in third. So he's been able to leapfrog Illogical, sorry. I do believe Illogical maybe have made a error too on his outlap and then the next lap after as well, because he wasn't pulling away too much from Tim and Jack either. So a big moment in this race with Dark Lord effectively in second, currently third. Outright. And Highlander's yet to pit. So will that show that Highlanders should be able to come out in front of Dado? It's going to be close, but he really needs to make sure he doesn't put as more fuel than he needs. So let's have a look. I'd say Highlander will be visiting pit lane this time around. And he's the last one to pit. He's going to go around once more. This is going to benefit also Illogical, because that may group up Dark Lord behind Highlander. He's got a little bit of a gap there still. Second, it's a 2-second lead roughly. But a sensational strategy call from the CRCP team in the Janetta, and have outplayed their hands to the P51 Sim Sports of the Porsche Cayman GT4 of Illogical Sports. But knowing Illogical, he'll put his head down now and really work the back of Dark Lord. He's got 35 minutes to try and get this position back, and they're still not out even for victory. When you look at it, only 15 seconds is Dark Lord from this man here, Dark Racing 40, who's been pushing extremely hard in this touring car to be leading this race outright and leading class. One thing Illogical's got going for him too is he doesn't have any time penalties, so we'll just bring those penalties up. So Dark Racing 40 has 3 seconds. Dark Lord, unfortunately, 7-second time penalties at the moment, so this could be a telling point for his end result, unfortunately, with Illogical Sports still with a clean sheet, as is Tim and Jack. And Metal Drive with 7 seconds as well, and 8 seconds to Gear 3 Gaming as Highlander is into the pits. So we'll just see now, Highlander's motoring down, so you'd think that Dado should be able to, yes, Dado should be able to clear Highlander, because he'll have that run down the straight as well. So Dado will see himself back up into P4. But Highlander won't be too far behind, that's for sure, as he's rolling already. So he's just got fuel. That's what they've done. They haven't done tyres, I don't think. I don't think Dark Lord did tyres, because that was a super quick stop just for fuel only, as we're waiting for Highlander now to come on out, as Dado's already going through the Tamburello chicane. So he's got a nice little 10-second margin, Dado, in 4th position. But now, so if Dark Lord didn't get tyres, and we know Logical, his stop was fairly long, lengthy, so Logical obviously put tyres on. Will that show later in this race with a Logical fresher tyres being able to gain that advantage that's required? Because at the moment, but then don't forget too, Dark Lord has a 7-second end of time penalty as well, with a Logical with no time penalty at this stage. Just doing everything right at the moment, Dark Lord. Braking at the right time, positioning his car, using the width of the track. Just getting the car flowing, no real awkward movements as well in the car. He's just got the flow going perfect at the moment. And the car's responding really well for him. So Highlander, what can he do? Can he now mount a challenge to Dado Racer late in this race? With just over 30 minutes remaining, an hour in game time, 5 p.m. going on to 6 p.m. when the race will be finished. And we'll be wrapped up here all at 6:30 our own time. So here we go. We'll settle in for the next half an hour and see what happens, because if anything to go by with us ANZCRL Combined Racing League races, that we seem to always have things crop up with the last 10 minutes or so. So things are still to be answered, and there's still some twists and turns, I would imagine, before we see the end of this race. So stick with us. If you're watching the replay, hopefully you're enjoying it. There's a lot of the drivers sometimes like to re-watch it afterwards on our YouTube channel. Obviously you find us here in Australia, New Zealand, for the Xbox Sim races as well, over on our website, aus-NZ-CRL.weebly.com, and have a look at us. Obviously we're coming to the very end of the year, so we've only got the Formula C Championship final round tomorrow night. And then in a fortnight's time, we have the final round of our Side Endurance Championship, which is going to be a mammoth race, a 3-hour race around Catalunya, I think it is. So that's going to be a big race for everyone. And that'll be the end of the year. And we have a nice break, and we normally come back in February and open the whole season up with our famous Daytona 24-hour special event, where we run 4 sessions for a full 6 hours in total. So we had 2 1-hour sessions and 2 2-hour sessions, and you can find that all in our archives, and basically it all gets copied through, and we run it again to start our season off. Always quite popular because everyone's had a break and everyone's fresh and looking forward to coming back into the racing scene again on the sim rigs. It always seems to be a popular event. Dark Lord's holding his own. He's extended that gap now to Illogical Sports to 14 seconds. So he's put 10 seconds on Illogical since he's come out of the pits. So sensational job by Dark Lord. But this man, Dark Racing 40, is still on his charge. And he's got his fuel right, so he's not going to have a problem. He's not going to have to do a shock visit to the pits with under fueling the car. And as long as he keeps in his zone that he's doing for the next 27 minutes, he's going along for another victory for 2021. And that's the question, who can stop him? So we know he's not in the Formula C Championship, and we will probably see him in the maybe in the Side Endurance Championship back in his Porsche he's driving. The LMPH, I think it is. So yeah, we'll see if he can finalise everything with another victory at the end of that. But all being well, it's not over yet. As we said, there's still a long way to go. And this is really the battle. Highlander getting catching the back of Dado, so it was out to 10 seconds. Now back down to 7. Chasing hard to try and finish 4th overall. Would be 3rd in class, because that little pesky little touring car of Dark Racing 40 is on P1 at the moment. I don't know if he was struggling to pull that up, Highlander, but he's been able to make turn 17 nicely without running wide. Now, Logical needs to try and find a little bit more pace though, because at the moment, even with that time penalty that Dark Lord has got the buffer to still hold on to that 2nd position. The throaty Aston Martin of Metal Drive. P6 still on the lead lap. I believe the last car on the lead lap. Oh, actually, he'd actually be a lap down, because that's Dark Racing 40 getting a little bit wild. So there's a mistake from Dark Racing 40. So is the fatigue starting to set in to Darky? We've got Dark Racing and Dark Lord. So the Dark guys are in front here at the moment. So that's climbed that down now to 17. It was up over 20 seconds. So that mistake has cost Dark Racing 43 seconds. Here's Tim and Jack still motoring around. Unfortunately, he had to. I still think that he's had one extra pit stop to Metal Drive, and that could have cost him that 6th position as well. He's been fairly good, Tim and Jack. Oh, in saying that, he's had a little bit of a moment. right in that curb. And the BMWs just haven't performed like some might have thought that they could have done. Gears struggled a little bit. But had the jump at the start of the race too in the touring car class. He actually led them. Jumped from, where was he? I think it was 9th. He got it, jumped the position on Darky. And was in front of him for a little while. Well, I guess it was only for a lap, if that. And then Darky made that move. So it's very important that Dark Lord behind in P2 just keeps running very consistent. Keep this pressure on Darky, and to see if he can make their little touring car crack. But with that return of serve of a 153.3, it's just amazing. He's just so much in his zone. Taking a leaf out of Sato's book, really. Sato can be so fast, constantly fast, and then makes a little bit of an error, but then gets straight back onto it again, back into the fast times again to try and eradicate the mistake as quick as possible. But if they can try and avoid those incidents as well, you can just imagine how much further up the road these guys can be. So we're counting it down now, 20 minutes remaining. And I'll just bring up the timings again. We'll just have a look to see. So 3 seconds to the leader of a time penalty, 7 seconds still to Dark Lord. Illogical still kept it clean. And Dado Race has got the only 1 second penalty, with Highlander with 3. And he's still closing the gap on Dado as well. And then we've got 8 seconds for Metal Drive. And Tim and Jack's kept it clean with Gear 3 Gaming with a 9 second penalty. So you can just have a look at those times too across the board. 53s, couple of 53s. You got the 54s as best laps. And then down the bottom there, a couple of 55s and a 56 from Gear 3 Gaming. So been pretty competitive. And just these laps around there hasn't been much in it other than Darky. They're all in 55s or 56, so within a second of one another. Oops. Darky wouldn't have seen too many of the touring cars, so here he is coming up to the back of Gear 3 Gaming. And they're both the same garage, the Hobsner Automotive cars of Dark Racing and Gear 3 Gaming. But Gear 3 Gaming in the BMW, the old 320. see Dark is still working hard though for this. He gave the acknowledgement of the thank you to Gear 3 Gaming to let him through to make it easy, because he knows it's not over yet with Dark Lord still making his presence felt just there in the background as Dark is trying to get rid of a time penalty, I believe, by the looks of that. So Dark is obviously knows he's got a bit of time penalty, so he's making sure that's not going to be an issue. You can just see how the different lines they're taking. Dark has been able to take a lot more curb, which gives him a better run, quicker lap times too. It's very important in those turns 17, 18, the final two left-handers, that you do get up the inside curb, shorten those corners out. So we did see that Gear's engine was running fairly hot earlier. It still is at 114. So he's got that radiator closed off a little bit. This is a nice looking car. Why don't we just go on board for a half a lap there of this BMW. And there we go with half a lap. We'll just see he gets up to around about the 2:35 mark before he has to brake. Did see, I think the other car, the GT4s, get to around about 240 before they need to get on the anchors. And what's happening between these two, Dado and Highlander? Well, Dado's starting to also catch the Logical Sports with just under 15 minutes remaining. And he's got Highlander behind him. And I think Dado only had a 1 second penalty, so he's got a good chance to try and finish third if he can start getting some good times. Let's see what this time is. It's a 54 compared to the 57 of a Logical last time around. So obviously a Logical's had a little bit of a moment, or his car could started to be feeling a little bit unsettled. He's dropped a lot behind. His Dado's running wide on exit of the Tamburello. He's just got to try and limit picking up any more time penalties if he's going to have a challenge for third position. He can't afford to get more than 1 second really, because I reckon if anything it's going to be a very close finish if he can get on the latch of back of the Logical Sports and then try and even make a move, because we know Logical will make that Porsche Cayman as wide as it can. He's not going to be tricked up and get a little bit of a bump on the bumper like he did with Darky early in the race, especially late in the race. He will fight like hell to stay in front. So plenty of fuel. Car's looking good. It's all clean. No damage. Just losing some time to Dado. So the afternoon sun. Maybe the track's starting to maybe it's cooled down a little bit. You can just see Tim and Jack was behind him with Dado Racer, not too far behind. So it looks like Dado's wants to not get held up by Tim and Jack, and Tim and Jack's got out of the way for Dado because he knows that Dado's on a charge here. And what did I say around about 15 minutes ago, that the last 10 minutes always seems to throw up something, and it's starting to look that way again, but for the minor position, for third position, between Illogical Sports and Dado Racer. Highlander's there on striking as well. They're a bit far as penalties too. I believe from memory it was, what was it? It was only 3 seconds to Highlander for time penalties. But Dado's increased it 1 second to 2, so that would have been when he had that exit out of Tamburello, I think, when he was running wide. So that's just going to make his job that little bit harder as he's chasing down Illogical Sports, who's kept a very clean race with no time penalties. And that may have been why we saw a last lap before, which was a 57 or whatever it was. So maybe he was trying to clear a penalty because he knows that this man's coming hard and doesn't want to start giving him some benefit of any time leg ups with penalties. Because he knows he's just got to finish in front of him and he's right to take victory. Knowing that Dado's got that 2 second, it'll be up on his screen that he's got that 2 second penalty. But again, there was a 56 by Illogical and a 54 by Dado, so that gap is closing fairly quickly. Oh, Dado's just hit the grass on the braking area, and that's probably all but dashed his charge. That's going to take a while to recover back from that now. He's just got to concentrate on keeping it in front of Highlander and just see what happens. He's going to have to push hard to try and get back to Illogical, but he's done a lot of hard work, and those tyres will be fairly hot too. They're running hard compounds in the GT4s. The touring cars, they were only on the one slick, just the one compound. They don't get to choose. So Dado's just trying to, he's obviously, I think he knows that his chance has been dashed. Also close it was, but he's still not out. You've got, you've got Tim and Jack there in the background you saw, so we know that Dado's not too far behind him. It's been a good drive by Illogical. In the Porsche, you'd probably like to, obviously be up front. But he's lost a little pace throughout the really the bulk part of the race. Early on, he was very competitive. Had some good pace. But the track hasn't come to them or stayed with them. You could say the track went away from them. This Darky's just punching out lap records here, 53.192. absolutely flying. Not quite the fastest lap. He had a 53.135 earlier in the race, but he's nudging on the door to better that, trying to get down into the 52s if he can. Taking a lot of curb on the inside, obviously on a charge here at the moment. Could be trying to get a fastest lap, which he's already got. He has a 53.081, so there he goes. We've just seen that, the fastest lap of the race. Absolutely just using that as as something to try and get him through this final part of the race, I guess, with a 20-second lead. He's got to be careful he doesn't push too hard though and ends up putting it in a wall. He's got a lot of confidence though in this car. He said took the British Touring Car Championship this year. Dado's still going hard here. He's running to 4 seconds to a Logical. So Logical actually had a 2:02 minute lap previously, so he's had a spin. So that's now brought these guys back into it as Tim and Jack doing a good job too, mixing it with these guys as Highlanders having a good look on the back of Dado now. There's some tired bodies, mentally strained people out there at the moment. Each time they look up and see how much is remaining, they think, really? Still 5 minutes remaining. I thought it was 5 minutes ago. But there's a second difference in penalties between Highlander and Dado. So Highlander needs to obviously make the move and then move up and finish the race 1 second in front of Dado. Last time we checked the penalties, that was. Dado will be kicking himself out. He made that mistake just braking on the off the track coming into the Tamburello complex and losing control, the rear end of that Aston Martin, when he was only within 4 seconds of a Logical, as Tim and Jack runs very wide and back onto the grass and back onto the track. So again, Dado's taken out another second out of a Logical's lead, but the battle still festers here for the 4th position as well. So this could well and truly come down to a, I think the time's going to run out, but it could almost be a 3-way battle for 3rd position. That setting sun starts to set there in the west. Gives a very big glare coming down the main straight. Blinding light. Not so bad here because it's all behind them. There's a Logical in the Porsche. I think think Illogical could be just pacing himself now, knowing that he had a little moment. He had a little get out of jail card when Dado spun it, as we said, only 2 laps ago. But then in between that, we didn't catch it. But Illogical obviously had a moment. So he's probably just thinking, let's just keep it calm now. We know Dado's got a penalty in front of me, so like, even if he passes him, he can probably still take third Illogical if he stays within check of Dado over the finish line. So you'd imagine there'll be 2 more laps remaining. So again, another second faster for Dado. I think Highlander, though, is actually getting some more time penalties as we go. Oh, Dado's also now up to 3 seconds with Highlander 4, so there's only that 1 second difference still between those two. So he's holding it together, Illogical. So they're going to have to do this lap and then another one. So there will be still another lap after this. Dark Racing 40 now coming down through into the turn 7, the Tosa hairpin, and up the hill. So he's going to get around for 1 more extra lap. So he'll finish with 63 laps, this race will be. So they're going to have another lap after this, actually. So they've got another lap, this one and another one. So there's still a little bit of time for Dado. Highlander. This is getting very close as well. It's unfortunate that I think they're going to be actually, we'll see if Dark is going to actually go through. If he doesn't slow up, he's actually going to not get through. So this will be the last lap. If he goes really hard, he'll get 1 extra lap, but he's going through like he's going to not going to make it go anymore. So he's just completed on lap 62 laps. So well done to Dark Racing 40. Doing the reverse burnouts as you need to do. Front wheel drive, so congratulations. And this man here, Dark Lord 78, what a great result, coming home in second with a CRCP Janetta. And first in class for the GT4, so well done. And Illogical Sports is going to hold on to third. A big battle here between Dado and Highlander, but I think they're going to be able to just hold out. So well done to the P51 Sim Sports car in this Porsche Cayman GT4 car. Number 35. Same car that took out the class victory in the Teams Endurance Championship this year. So super effort that for Illogical Sports, coming home in third position. Dado Racer will finish in fourth with Highlander in fifth after the time penalties. And Metal Drive has already finished when we wait for Tim and Jack. There he goes. Takes the line. And Gear 3 Gaming also came lap 60, so 2 laps down in the end in that BMW. So What an event we just seen there with the touring car actually coming out on top, taking overall victory and class victory over the GT4s, the more preferred cars, with Dark Racing 40 in the number, what was it again? Sorry, the Hobsner Automotive Renault Megane, the 61, and takes victory by 27 seconds over Dark Lord 78. Did a tremendous job with pit strategy to leapfrog the P51 SimSport crew to take class victory and also second outright, and Logical Sports then third in the Porsche, and then third in class will be Dado Racer in the Aston Martin in the Hobsner Automotive, and then we'll look back down to Tim and Jack second in class in the Touring Car Championship, seven. In the touring cars, I should say, in 7th overall in the community, the PCCF community events online Renault Megane, and finished a lap down from Dark Racing 40, and 2 laps down was Gear 3 Gaming, taking up the final podium spot there in the BMW of, again, the Hobsner Automotive team car. So there you go. I've been your host, Woody Lizard. Thank you for joining me, and we look forward to bringing you tomorrow night the final round of our series of the Formula C Championship. So until then, have a good Saturday evening, and look forward to being back on your screens tomorrow. Cheerio.